Well, the president turned Independence Day into Judgment Day, as we can clearly see him holding this gavel as a symbolic gesture, hammering down judgment and signing into law the Big Brother bill. What a wild coincidence and prediction back in 2017 with this magazine cover showing Mr. Golden Dawn carrying out judgment. As we know and clearly see, it is not normal for a president to typically use gavels for bill signing. For the role and purpose of gavels are traditionally used by presiding officers like the Speaker of the House or the Senate Majority Leader to call meetings to order, maintain order, or announce rulings. Or another way of saying this, to announce judgment. But clearly, as we just saw, there is an exception to this rule. Yesterday on Independence Day, where the president was presented with a gavel by the House Speaker Mike Johnson. And he used it to mark the signing of the Big Brother bill. The Big Beautiful bill. And as we can see right here, underlined, this instance appears to be an exception rather than a common practice, likely for symbolic or ceremonial effect. Oh, yeah, yesterday was symbolic, all right. The irony and symbolism was not lost on some of us, where he signed this Big Beautiful bill into effect, into law, on the same day that America is celebrating Independence Day. Nothing screams independence, freedom, and liberty like the expansion of the biometric surveillance state. Because, like I've touched on this before in other videos, this whole Big Beautiful bill is building a big police state. As we can see with this bill passing, biometric surveillance and data privacy landscapes across the US may soon look dramatically different and be further centralized under federal authority, stripped of local safeguards and deeply intertwined with AI driven immigration enforcement. Oh, how lovely! Where they are planning on aggressively pursuing innovative technologies for detection and strengthening identity verification for travelers within the United States through biometric and biographic techniques and technologies. But clearly, as the Trojan horse, they are framing this as anti terror and anti trafficking measures, but critics argue that the systems normalize mass biometric surveillance with minimal oversight. What could go wrong? And as we can clearly see, this biometric provisions also extend to Customs and Border Protection, which is slated to receive $6 billion for modern surveillance, biometric, and screening technologies. The legislative text outlines the deployment of autonomous surveillance towers. Whoa, sounds Orwellian. And artificial intelligence for threat detection. Not to mention where apparently the funds are aimed at expanding ICE's access to mobile biometric tools, integrating facial recognition into field operations, automating risk scoring for individuals in deportation proceedings, and accelerating case proceedings or processing through AI-driven platforms. And some of this funding to ICE will be used for digital modernization efforts that lean heavily on AI and biometric surveillance, where more than $5.2 billion within ICE's share is dedicated to infrastructure modernization, including $2.5 billion specifically for artificial intelligence systems, biometric data collection platforms, and digital case tracking. And as we can see now, the budget for ICE is bigger than most of the world's militaries, and where we can see Congress gives ICE more money than it could have ever imagined. The bill allocates about 150 billion to immigration enforcement through 2029. Man, that year sure likes to pop up a lot. ICE will receive 45 billion from that total sum, more funding than any other agency in the federal government. And this is according to the American Immigration Council, or AIC. And now, as we can see down here, ICE will become the largest federal law enforcement agency in the history of the nation. Man, I'm not sure about you guys, but I'm pretty sure a little Austrian man back in the 1930s and 1940s would have sure loved to have this power right here. So now for the Nothing Ever Happens crowd talking about how nothing happened yesterday, July 4th, because there was not an attack or something major in the news. But in reality, in my own opinion, I believe this right here was the event. An event where the effects will not be felt immediately. But there is no doubt about it. It was very symbolic that he would sign this bill into law on Independence Day, and also having a gavel showing the judgment that is coming. Just as the Patriot Act was ironic, being named Patriot, but really it stripped away freedoms and liberties, likewise, this Big Brother bill, Big Beautiful bill, was signed on Independence Day, showing the irony and that they are just mocking us. Because in reality, this bill is a huge step for building the Antichrist beast system of enslavement control with AI surveillance, where some of this funding in the bill will go towards building more detention centers for immigrants right now, but in my own personal opinion, my own speculation, will most likely be used in the future during the tribulation for those who do not take the mark of the beast and for those who go against the Antichrist, or for those who do not get a digital ID and refuse to go along with this new system that they are trying to implement. And like I have said before, and I will say it again, this system will be a system of AI governance, surveillance, and enslavement with the Antichrist spirit using AI, which AI stands for Antichrist intelligence, in my opinion, in the future, where then the individual, the little horn, the man of perdition, son of perdition, the Antichrist, will then connect with this artificial intelligence to have this omnipresence, having this godlike power to be able to control every individual who takes the mark of the beast, who then connects themselves to this artificial intelligence.
The merge scenario with AI is the one that seems like probably the best. Like if you can't beat it, join it.
They are not even hiding their agenda. They make it very clear what their goal is to connect individuals to artificial intelligence and having this AI governance of surveillance of biometrics with the bio digital convergence. Hence why there is speculation that the singularity will take place by the year 2029. And also how we have seen RFK Jr. talking about how he wants Americans to be wearing wearable devices by the year 2029. We also see part of this big brother bill was the creation of a rural health relief fund called the Rural Health Transformation Program, which for those who want to be qualified under this program, it will prioritize the use of new technologies or technologies that connect providers to patients. You know, new technologies like Neuralink. Now, that being said, allow this information to cause urgency to draw closer to the Lord in an intimate relationship, allowing Him to grow you in maturity, having your mind transformed and renewed, taking every thought captive, and also having the urgency to share the gospel with others, to share the good news that Jesus Christ gives us eternal life by faith alone, in Him alone, for what He did on the cross 2,000 years ago, shedding His perfect blood for us. He who knew no sin became sin on the cross, that we can become the righteousness of God in Him, 2 Corinthians 5:21. And it is the life, death, burial, and resurrection that gives us hope, that we believe in, that we trust in, that gives us eternal life, present tense, John 5:24, that we are sealed for the day of redemption, Ephesians 4:30. So through it all this information, continue to focus your eyes upon the Lord, for He is the author and the perfecter of your faith, Hebrews 12:2, and that we continue to look up, realizing that our redemption draws near. I love you guys all so much. God bless. Remember, the just shall live by faith.